You're listening to Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers with your hosts Greg Barrett and Kane Holloway.
Welcome to the podcast. Hi, everybody. Episode 99. I'm Kane Holloway.
This is 99. I'm Greg Barrett.
This is 99. How come we don't count the numbers? Because we could have had some funny material on episode 69 if we would have mentioned it. You know what I mean?
You know who the guest was on episode 69?
Who was?
Natasha?
It was?
No shit.
Holy shit.
Are you serious?
Amazing.
How fitting and amazing.
No fucking way.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't make any jokes out of it, because we're gentlemen. We're not going to make some dumbass 69 jokes.
Come on, baby. They're so easy. No shit. Your answer is in the question with Natasha Adamo, episode 69.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
And I'm your first return guest.
First return guest. It's so good to have Natasha here. Natasha has been, you guys all know her. If you don't, you should. She's got a book coming out that Greg helped edit. And
he's the only editor.
He's the only editor.
Yeah, there's no other editor.
No other editor but Greg. And everybody's here. Pat is here. Of course, it's Gregers is here over on Venmo at Greg-Barron.
Yeah. I just paid another person $10.
You did? Did you get $10?
People are only hitting me up for money now. Yeah. No one's giving me money.
The Venmo thing.
I decided that I wanted to break out on Venmo. You know, enough with Instagram and all this shit. I want to be over where the money is.
Hell yeah.
And so I told people to start following me on Venmo. Mm-hmm. And then I said, if you wanted to, you could send me money. So people started sending me money. It was kind of nice. But then people started hitting me up for money. And now that's all they do. They'll hit me up for $10. And I kind of got to give it to them. It's just $10.
But you got to give Greg $10. It's a give and take system over on Greg's Venmo. Also, just friend him. Yeah. Be his friend. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
Natasha, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this. It's very easy and relaxing with you guys.
Oh, great. Well, that's what we want.
What are we doing? I want to talk about something.
Oh boy. Okay.
So you've heard us talk about Girls Gotta Eat, the podcast that Kane's girlfriend is on. Mm-hmm. And it's a very popular podcast and millions of followers. And I listen to it from time to time. And last week I listened to it, and it's the one that's about sex clubs. But that's not what was interesting. Yeah, but what was interesting was that Kane fucked up big time, and Raina talked about it. And she and Ashley were both sort of beyond themselves with how much you fucked up. And I don't, so do you want to tell it from here?
Yeah, I bought flowers for Raina. Raina had come off the road, and I bought this big bouquet of flowers. And then I couldn't find a vase that would fit these flowers. And I saw this old dead bouquet of flowers in a vase. And she had all these other dead plants that she was planning on getting rid of. And I go, oh, okay. So this is just one of many dead plant life in the house. And so I took the liberty of throwing those away and putting new flowers in the vase as hey, look at these new flowers. And come to find out that those flowers, she got two different sets of flowers from two different friends for two different moments in her life that she really cherished, that she really meant a lot to her. And I threw them in the garbage. I was trying to do something nice. I really was trying to be nice and get her flowers.
Was she? What was her reaction?
Her reaction at first was, "Thank you so much for the flowers," and then she had to take a few minutes before she was like, "Those flowers you threw away meant a lot to me, and I'm really sad that you threw them away." I haven't listened to that episode, so I don't know the vitriol that's been spewed on the episode. But you know, it was born out of kindness, but I didn't double check. Also, I didn't want to ruin a surprise. Hey, I have flowers for you. Can I? I wanted her to walk in and see flowers. So, yeah, that's what happened.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, and Ashley is more mad at you,
yes,
than Raina is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing was like, dead flowers are like a thing from high school.
Are they?
Keeping old flowers is like a young person's game. That's something that young people do. And then you grow up and you just fucking replace them with good flowers.
Right. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Get
dead flowers.
Just get new flowers. What are you so sad about?
What would you say, Natasha?
I mean, I don't know. This was not like a corsage that was hanging on the wall. It was, I do agree with you. It wasn't, funeral flowers from a family member that passed away. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, your intention was really good. It's not like the action didn't match the intention. I don't really see the big deal. I mean, it sucks that they were meaningful flowers, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, I also stepped on them on the way out, like purposefully. No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it's terrible that they were meaningful and it caused all kinds of stuff. But
yeah, So now I don't do any surprise anything. No surprise birthday parties. No surprise balloon. No, nothing is a surprise. I'm gonna ask everybody. Hey.
Or maybe just don't throw anything away.
What's that?
Maybe just don't throw anything away.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. I won't throw shit away. If it's an old shoe with a finger in it, I'll just leave it there. I don't know.
Just start hoarding.
Yes. Yeah, so that happened, and that's never happened before, ever. I don't think in my history of giving gifts did I ever fuck up that way. I never, it just didn't. None of it registered what I was doing. Like none of it was like, maybe I shouldn't touch her stuff. Maybe I should ask her about her stuff first. That's what. I just was like, new flowers, old flowers.
I would have done the same thing. I mean, you can buy dried flowers and give them to people.
Yeah. I
mean, I know that's a thing, but still.
The moral of the story is don't touch her stuff, and ask first. And if you buy flowers, just leave them on the table.
Or get flowers that are in a vase. Put them.
I love that. Get a vase.
Yeah, get
them in a vase.
Flowers, get the ones that come in a vase.
Get the kind that come in a vase.
Yeah.
Spend the money.
Boy.
The ones in the refrigerated section that you have to open the door.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that next time. I do get messages. I've gotten many messages from GGE fans that are like, "No, Kane, not the flowers," because they know of the flowers' importance, and I was not aware. Crap.
Yeah, anyway, I feel like you need to get Ashley some flowers.
Oh, I do. I'm gonna get Ashley some dead flowers. What are your guys' thoughts? Send them to DTBFF Podcast on Instagram and let me know what you think about my flower debacle. Flowergate. What do you know about Flowergate? We have an email in from a listener who would like to remain anonymous. Am I the fucker? Hey, Greg and Kane and Pat and Natasha. If you read this on the show, please keep me anonymous. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years. Throughout those 5 years, a lot of drama and problems have happened. If I go into detail, you'll spend the entire episode reading it because it's just so much bullshit. He's been a huge fucker for so long, and I eventually became one myself because I was just fed up, but couldn't leave him. There's a significant age difference, and I was 18 when we started dating. He finally started changing, and things got better about a year ago after I really fucked up big time. Ever since then, he hasn't done anything relatively wrong since, but the relationship became boring, and I just lost the need for the relationship. I broke up with him, and he begged me to give him a chance to change. He promised he'd try and treat me like he used to in the beginning. I can tell he really is, and it has been great, and he truly does love me, and I love him. But I'm still not really appreciating his effort, and I'm not sure if I want to be with him or not. Am I the fucker for not appreciating his effort? This is what I've wanted for 2 years. It's the whole reason I stayed around through all the bullshit. He's my best friend and no one like I've ever met. Any advice would be great. I just don't know what to do. Thanks, guys. P.S. I've listened to the show every episode, and I've watched Greg get progressively more mean to Kane. Greg, I will Venmo you $1 if you'll be nicer to Kane. Yeah, you get $1 if you stop being such a big dickhole.
I just took your side in Flowergate.
Yeah, but you brought it up. I know your little push-pull game that you play with me.
Look, I do my research for the show. I go out looking for topics.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But if you want to be $1 richer, my friend, you're going to have to say something nice about me by the end of the show. It doesn't have to be now. We'll see. What do you guys think?
I think it's done.
You think the relationship is done?
It's done. I think it's done.
She's asking, or he, whoever the person is, they're anonymous, is asking if they are the fucker.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, I don't even think that's the issue at hand. I think the issue at hand is an addiction to romantic love. Romantic love is up, down, yes, no, hot, cold, Jekyll, Hyde. True love is extremely linear, which is what most people addicted to romantic love would classify as boring. You know, Johnny Cash sings in one of his most famous songs, "Because you're mine, I walk the line," not the rectangle, triangle, quadratic equation. But if you get to a place in your life where you become more addicted to chaos, because there's always something going on, and you're going to start equating intensity with a soulmate connection. And intensity is not passion. Intensity is not a soulmate connection. You know, passion, it could be passionate, but I define passion much differently. It's more based on consistency. And if you say this person is your best friend and they're beautiful in ways that time can never take away, you've got to look in the mirror and address your attraction to the roller coaster that your emotional body is just not built to ride again and again and again, which is why you're writing to the show.
It sounds like when he came around and it became less of a roller coaster, then she lost interest.
That's what I'm saying. So you're addicted to romantic love. You're addicted to that up, down, hot, cold. And what you're going to find is that the true love from a best friend, soulmate, is very consistent. It's very linear. It's not, triangulating. It's none of that. But we get addicted to romantic love because, everything on TV is reality shows. It's you got to win. You got to this. It's a competition. It's look at romantic comedies. Look at fairy tales. Look at all of it. It's all about winning. It's all about being chosen. It's all about being good enough to be chosen. And it's about the drama along the way to the happily ever after. So, I'm not surprised. I was addicted to it hopelessly. But then I got to a point where my body gave out. And I just hope that this person that wrote is listening. And I would hope that life doesn't have to remind you what's really important. There are people in this podcast that have dealt with all kinds of things, from addiction to diagnosis, cancer, you name it. And sometimes life shows you what you got to focus on. And I would start valuing consistency over the roller coaster of, intense inconsistency.
I I agree, especially when you're a kid. You're 18 years old. You're with somebody older, and they're acting insane, or they're acting in ways that you wish they would stop. And when I was about that age, I was in a relationship that was very much like that, very push pull, and the almost exact same thing she's talking about, where we both sort of agreed to stop being crazy towards each other, like just stop all of the infighting and stop being this way that's toxic and hurting ourselves. And then that we both got bored of one another. It was just like, we don't want to fight, but we also now are like so bored with this non-fight that now we're just like, I'm sort of done. And the relationship itself dissipated, because neither one of us were like, well, I don't want to go back to that, because that the highs are really high, but the lows are so low. You do feel very sick. Very
so
like
when you get your fix of that high again, you are just hook, line, and sink.
Yeah. I would say that, especially since they're so young, that maybe take
she's
some time.
So young.
Yeah, that she's so young. Take some time to yourself to really figure out what it is that you want. Like, what's a healthy relationship that you see? And rather than get into relationships that you go, okay, well, eventually it's going to get to this healthy point, try to find yourself in a relationship that isn't showing red flags you need to then turn green, you know? Yeah. That was pretty good. I was off the dome.
Well done, Kane.
I'm really self-impressed. Look, I got to get it where I can get it. Okay. I'm the flower guy. So, you know, if someone's got to be happy with me, it might as well be me.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. We'll be right back.
Hey, if you're a writer, performer, or creative in any way, then you might benefit from my coaching program. I've written several best-selling books and toured the world as a stand-up comedian and started a band called the Reigning Monarchs. Whatever creative path you choose but feel stuck on, don't worry, because I can get you unstuck. For more information, go to gregorybarrett.com/coaching and sign up. You'll also find this link in the show's description. And I can help you if you have relationship problems as well.
This is the theme song for What Does This Mean song. The theme song for What Does This Mean song. We'll read a self-help quote, and they're definitely not memes. Memes are something completely different than quotes. Quotes are supposed to help you through all the bullshit in your life. And memes are like that poster of that cat hanging from a tree. And it says, hang in there, baby, or Mondays, am I right? Mondays, am I right? So if you can think of a different title, then we'll probably change it.
We're in What Does This Mean? One of our favorite segments. It's supposed to be inspiring. We hope that it is. We have several for some listeners. I have one. Greg has one. Natasha has some. Sal might have some if he's feeling froggy. I have one from YSP Page, says, if their absence brings you peace, then you didn't really lose them.
I love that. You can never really lose a toxic person. You can only win a life absent of toxicity.
Yeah, totally.
This one says, our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify.
Can you say that again?
That feels unfinished.
Our life is frittered.
Did they say frittered?
Yes.
Frittered?
I think Kane added the word.
Our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify. Henry David Thoreau.
I don't care who it is. It's not good.
That's because your life is frittered with detail, Gregory. You need to simplify, baby.
Oh my God, my life couldn't be any more simple. It's too simple.
What do you got, Greg?
I have this one. If you're not happy single, you won't be happy married. Happiness comes from dogs, not relationships.
I like it.
That's from Jane Wielden of the Go-Go's. Yep. And then I have this one. I don't always put my heart out there, but when I do, I instantly regret it.
Wow, these are so uplifting.
Those are the two best ones I found.
Do you have something, Natasha?
Yeah, I wrote it. There's so many more that are just fantastic, of course. I just got this from my Twitter. There's many out there that I like by other people, but one of mine is the only way to checkmate a toxic person and win their game is through withdrawal. You win by deciding not to play anymore, by giving up on the hope that they are who they presented themselves to be in the beginning. And you act on the fact that they are who they've proven themselves to be. Another one I really like is your self-love is their karma. You know, it's not about your endless explanations and your posts on social media and all of that. You doing the one thing that they can't do is their karma. Loving yourself.
It feels like a weight lifted off when you sort of express it like that. Like, well, I get to do me. I get to feel good by myself in my own skin. And that's their karma for how shittily they were treating me.
Well, and when you love yourself unconditionally, boundaries are a natural symptom of that. They're not something you need to read a book about and implement. So when you love yourself, you're going to protect yourself from what is robbing you of your mental health. Mm-hmm. So then they don't get the benefit of having you in their orbit. And if someone treats you in a terrible manner, they lack self-love. They're not happy. They're not happy with who they are. So instead of trying to get back at them or post, thirst trap selfies or whatever it may be, just love yourself. It's their karma. It's the one thing they can't do.
Yeah, I had a friend doing that for a while. She was really upset about a guy that she had like a long distance thing with him. And then he came, this is when I was living in LA. And then he came and it just didn't hit off, and he really rubbed her the wrong way. And then he left and he went back to where he was living. And then she just kept posting she was never like this. And she was just posting pictures of her in a swimsuit in some rich guy's pool. And everyone knew what she was doing, because we were like, you don't do that. You're not a person who does that. And she's like, now here's me. I got a popsicle in my mouth and I'm wearing, and it's like, hey, if you want to do that. But we can tell you're hurting. These pictures are abnormal for you.
Yeah, it ends up being really obvious. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of it. And it's just, it never works out well. It's not going to achieve what you want it to achieve. Mm-hmm. What you want, it's going to be the most difficult thing to do, which is not react, not post, not do any of that, but really turn inward and give yourself everything you've been giving all these people that have been just taking advantage of you and taking you for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, you like to thirst trap. Have you ever done one with a popsicle?
Absolutely not. No.
Popsicle Pat? Are you shitting me, dude? No. Can we please, for the love of God, can you post a selfie on your Instagram with a popsicle in your mouth? Oh, no. Do it. Do not make me shame you. I will shame you.
Oh, I thought you said shave.
I will. That'll be for the 100th episode. I'm fucking coming there and I'm shaving your whole body.
I was like, Kane, what are you saying right now?
I will shave you.
Don't get it twisted. I will shave you. Oh, shit. Popsicle Pat. Hashtag Popsicle Pat. And all of our female listeners out there who really enjoy Pat, please send us messages that are so overwhelming. Hashtag Popsicle Pat that he has to do it. It'll be like a telethon. If we reach 1 million, whatever, we'll do this. He'll be Popsicle Pat Thirst Trap Thursdays or whatever. I can't wait.
Either that or his entire body will be shaved.
And I'll be holding him with a razor. And that'll be the picture. Molly Brown sent us one. She said, I had to read this 3 times to get what they were saying. I think because my mind kept going to what break a leg means when someone is performing. Hashtag always be breaking legs. Break a few legs. Watch the people who used to act like you were a doormat start getting really careful about where they put their feet. Most people will push their disrespect exactly as far as you let them. Never give an inch, not one.
When does it start?
When you need to be so strong that when someone tries to walk on you like the time you were their doormat, you break their legs. Hopefully, metaphorically, we don't promote violence on this show.
How many times did she have to read it to get it?
3 times. Break a few legs. That's how it starts. Break a few legs. Feels like that was part of something else.
Yes.
And it got added to this one. Because they don't say break legs at the end of it. It doesn't come up again in the middle.
That one's a little much for me, but I just found a really good one. Some people aren't loyal to you. They are loyal to their need of you. Once their needs change, so does their loyalty.
Oh.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really see who your friends are when those walls come up. Geekiana sent us one. If we don't say yes authentically, we say yes resentfully. And that leads to far more problems than if we'd said no in the first place.
Love it.
So last, or maybe a couple episodes ago, we had a listener email in with a meme that says if work was supposed to be fun, they'd call it play. And she says that it feels like someone's fucking with her at work, like trying to make her feel bad about her job and her like performance at her job. And then we used her name and she didn't say to keep her anonymous. So she says, "Hey, DTBFF, I was so surprised to hear my original message read on the podcast, especially since I felt silly for sending it in. But Greg's response absolutely made my day." Aw.
Oh,
that's so nice.
I must have hated it.
You must have. I will say I was not expecting my whole first and last name to be read. Oh, shit. We did read her last name.
Oh, nice going.
Fucking dummy. I'm sorry. But that's my bad for not being more clear with the sign off of initials only. Totally forgot about my email handle. It was my first time writing into a podcast. Live and learn and all that. My company is pretty private about stuff, so I spent the whole week praying that downloads this week are dismal, thanks, and no one who I work with is a listener, while also wanting this podcast to blow up because it's very needed. That story this week about the promotion that was taken away because the person was female and the explanation email was sent to her, that whole story, I was totally in shock. We had a female listener emailing in that she can't rise up in her job because she was told outright by her male superiors that she's not going to rise up because she's a woman. And we told her to sue and fucking try and take them down because that's bullshit. Holy shit, it's important that these platforms exist which allow people to say that type of behavior is unacceptable. Hopefully that lady finds something much better suited while maybe winning a lawsuit while she's at it. Going back to me working for a very private paranoid company, it would be hilarious turn of events after all this time to get fired because of something written into a podcast. I'm trying to hold out on leaving for a few more months, but have known for a bit I'd like to look into other career opportunities. I'll definitely follow up if I do get fired. Oh, fuck, please do not get fired. I hope you don't get fired.
I don't think she knows what the subtitle of our show is. It's don't take bullshit from fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody you work with listens.
Yeah. If they did, you'd all completely understand. Like you'd all have that one thing in common. Hey, you listen to the show? Yes, I do. One last thing. Every time I've told people to give it a listen, the response is that Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers is a great title. It's a good thing you never changed it. Peace. Please don't read my name again. Yeah, what would you say, Natasha, to any woman working in a male-dominant area that feels like they can't rise up because specifically they are a woman? What would you say to that?
That's absolutely terrible. I mean, the first instinctual advice would be to get out, but that's not an option for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not that easy. The good thing is that the times are on your side. You know, never have we lived in a time before where people are so heard, I think. And there are many instances, unfortunately, where they're not and they're silenced. And but the good thing is you can always go find someone who will hear you and will advocate for you. Like mm-hmm. you guys brought up earlier, an attorney. I don't know anything about legal issues or anything like that. But, you know, if you realize you're in an arena where you essentially bring a knife, so to speak, to a gunfight and you're outnumbered and you're being silenced. Again, I am not any kind of a legal counselor, but I would seek an attorney's advice in that opinion because it's discriminatory.
Mm-hmm. One other thing, there's this running thing going on in the show, Natasha, where we read something on the show about a woman having sex and during climax saw ducks, like was transported to a pond with ducks, and it was the most blissful orgasm that she's had. And
was it with someone else or herself?
It was with someone else. Like
okay.
The guy was like, do I take credit for this? Essentially, like, do I take credit for this orgasm, this duck orgasm? And so people have written in about things that they've seen during orgasm. And we have one where they want to be known as Denonymous. And Denonymous says, regarding seeing intense visions during sex, I went through a period during my mid-20s where I would have visions of being in an apple orchard during Revolutionary War times. Mostly trees in straight rows and some vague sense of George Washington ordering soldiers around. Sounds like there is an agricultural theme for sure. Oh, fuck. That's from Denonymous. What is with everyone seeing fields and animals and plant life during orgasm? What is that? What the fuck is that?
That's never happened to me.
No!
Yeah, never happened to me.
Pat? Popsicle Pat?
Nope.
Fuck. Well, here's hoping.
Can we call him Popsicle Pat the Sailor?
Yes, for sure. From now on, Popsicle Pat the Sailor. Oh, fuck. All right. Just wanted to let everybody know that we have a workshop coming up October 3rd at 11 a.m. Seats are filling up fast, and we want to thank everybody that's going to be new and coming back to the workshop. We're going to have some special guests, Wink, coming aboard, and it's going to be a great time. Tickets are on sale at don'ttakebullshitfromfuckers.bigcartel.com.
Yeah, get your tickets soon. It's limited seating. Okay, this is from Elle, and she writes in, hey, if you guys have time, can you ask Natasha about frenemies, how to spot one early, how to get rid of them? And by that, I mean friends who are low key, not really on your team. Do you have any thoughts about frenemies?
Yeah, of course. I've been on the receiving end of many. I've been one, I think the number one thing is indicator of, I guess you could say, a toxic friend, a fake friend, a frenemy, is how they treat you when things are going well versus how they treat you when things are not going well. If they're a better
for you
friend,
or for you or for them.
For this listener, if her friends or his friends are being incredible friends when they're down and out versus when things are going well in their life, they're a little bit more standoffish. You feel, sometimes when you have a really great accomplishment or something and someone close to you, they'll act bizarre and almost like you feel bad and you want to kind of comfort them, or you say, is everything okay? What's going on? That has nothing to do with you. They're just having an allergic reaction to basically what triggers them, to your success. So I would definitely look at that. And loyalty, loyalty, number one. People can't help but communicate who they are very quickly, relatively fast. So just, is this person loyal, and how do they behave when I'm down and out versus when I'm on the up and up?
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I would say if you have a lot of frenemies, you've somehow ended up on the Bachelor Paradise Island.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also look at yourself. If your entire group of friends are considered frenemies, what do you think your relationship towards them is? What do you give off to them? And like, do I feed off of their misfortune the same way they feed off of mine? Is there this again, sort of there's like a full circle thing going on from segment one, where even in a friend group, it can feel very push-pull. You guys are the bestest of friends, and then you guys fucking hate each other's guts, and then you keep doing that. We can talk about it over a beer, and we can be friends again. And it's, non-sexual toxic relationships exist. And sometimes you have to go, oh, fuck, maybe I do that too. Maybe I'm also feeding into this behavior that I feel like I get from them.
Yeah, I have to call myself today even. And, when I notice myself being passive aggressive or wanting to do something. Sorry, what were you going to say, Greg?
No, I was going to say, for a while, I picked, especially when I first got to Hollywood, I picked a lot of people that were super charismatic, but not really my friends. You know what I mean? And didn't really have my best interest out there, but they were so fun to be around that their attention felt special. Yet at the same time, I knew they were being cruel to me. So it was weird. People that act like they're smarter than you.
Also, sometimes, I've been friends with people by just how much better I feel being associated with them, if that makes sense. I feel better about myself that I have a connection to them. And our whole relationship, I mean, it's not as though it's rocky, but there's this undertone of competition and one-upmanship and, passive aggression and all of that. And really, life is short, and what you're basically doing is, your opponent is not the frenemy, it's the person staring back at you in the mirror. If you're good friends with yourself and you got a good relationship with yourself, these kind of dynamics, whether they're sexual or non-sexual, familial, whatever they may be, they're not going to trigger you into being so interested that you want to play. You just don't want to play that game.
Yes. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos, rewatching Sopranos, getting ready for that movie.
I'm so excited.
And the mom, oh my God, just if the mom had a goatee, she'd be my dad. My dad also tried to have me killed. But that, as you're describing that, I'm like, that's, I found that such an interesting dynamic on the show that feels very real. And that in the mob, in like a mobster genre that's like a very real relationship, and it's the push-pull we talk about, where it's like, well, they're my mother, well, they're my friend, so yeah, I got to deal with their bullshit, but there's a pecking order. And
definitely.
Yeah,
there could be a whole graduate level psychology class just on Livia. I mean, she is a perpetual victim, and she will go from, she can get to her kids' soft spots and make them feel so bad for her. And this is a woman who exploited her own grandson, her own grandkids. And when they were at their most impressionable age. And what I find so interesting is that Tony he actually married someone who is not his mother or his father. He made the right decision in who he married. But the quote unquote passion cannot just sustain in a form of monogamy. And he's got to go out with other women who are holograms of his mother.
Yes. Yeah, he needs to be tortured on some level because there is comfort in that type of torture.
Well, it's a very familiar dynamic, and, you think to yourself, and this is all actually subconscious. It's like, well, if I can be good enough for this person, then it invalidates the pain a parent caused.
Yeah.
And, if you would not have physical sex with your parents, which is disgusting, you don't engage in emotional incest, you will never win. The house always wins.
For sure.
I love that show.
That's the best. Speaking, but as we were talking about friends, Natasha has become one of my closest friends since I met Greg, who's become one of my best friends. And Pat, I think that's what's great about doing this show is none of this feels like we're trying to get something from. We just want to have fun with each other. Most of the show, we spend hours after the show talking to each other.
Yes.
Sort of like what the Patreon has become, where it's just us jawing on each other. And Natasha is someone I can go to, just like Greg and just like Pat. I can talk to Natasha about pretty much anything, and that's what makes you such a great friend, but also makes you such a great coach and upcoming author.
Thank you. I was looking forward to this all day because honestly, at this point with you guys, friend is just an understatement and an insult. You guys are just family to me, and we always have fun, and it's always
totally.
But yeah, my book is coming out, Win Your Breakup, How to Be the One That Got Away, edited by Greg, which is just a dream come true for me. And he is an incredible, yes, he's an incredible relationship coach. But anyone out there, I always say everyone has a book in them. Everyone does, but not everyone can just execute it without help, especially with, help from someone who has not only been there, but is in such a league of their own. Not many people can say they've sold as many books as Greg. Not many people can say they're on bestseller lists, let alone #1 on bestseller lists. And he has a way of kindly redirecting you without disempowering you. So we had so much fun. The book is a dignified...
That's all I'm doing, Kane, is just trying to kindly redirect you.
Is that your one nice thing you're saying about me?
Yeah, totally.
He's $1 richer. He did it, folks. Yes, How to Win Your Breakup will be coming out.
It's powerful. It's a powerful book. It's gonna be bonkers.
I can't wait to read it. I got to read some of it, and Natasha called me one time and read me a chapter, which I was very, very pleased and honored that you did. And she's such a great writer. You guys already know that if you follow her blog, and if you follow her on Instagram, and you're just at Natasha Adamo.
Yep.
She's very inspiring. You're a very inspiring person, and we love you very much.
Thank you. I love you guys. I just, I tried so hard for so long. I just tried really hard. And now I just I pinpoint what I wish I had, and I give that as much as I possibly can from the moment I wake up. And I'm looking forward to coming back on and either seeing Pat with a popsicle or looking like a hairless cat. So it'll be
oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Popsicle Pat the sailor.
The fact that I thought you said shave, don't make me shave you.
You gave a second thought to our friendship level. You're like, maybe shaving Kane probably shouldn't be family. Let's bring him back down. Yes, and Natasha is so great. You can hit her up for coaching, I believe, right? Are you open for that?
Not currently, but if you subscribe to my email list, you will get an email alert when I post the next blog post, upon which I'll open up coaching until it books back out. But if I'm booked up, I mean, come on, guys, give Greg a call, give Kane a call, get in touch with them. They're really phenomenal at what they do. And most importantly, they love what they do and they love helping people. It's not about getting disciples or dependents or inflating wallets. It's about connecting with and helping people out of pain and suffering they know all too well. And that's about the best thing you can ask for.
Absolutely. Speaking of inflating wallets, you can support the show at Patreon, patreon.com/DTBFF podcast. Come to our, like I said before, at the top or at the third segment, we have our workshop, October 3rd at 11 a.m. Tickets are at don'ttakebulshitfromfuckers.bigcartel.com. The link for all of that is in the bio. You can follow the show at DTBFF Podcast, and you can send your questions and memes over there, or you can send it to dtbffpodcast@gmail.com. Follow me at Kane Holloway.
Yeah, follow it's Gregor's.
And you can call in the show. What's that number, Pat?
That number is 323-379-5544.
And don't take bullshit from fuckers.
Fuck 'em.
Hey there, if you like the show, you can find bonus episodes and more at our Patreon at patreon.com/DTBFF podcast. And then rate the show 5 stars on iTunes because it's the right thing to do. All music by the Rating Monarchs, produced by Patrick Kelly.